Welcome back to the show. Today we are diving into an essential topic in aviation: aircraft weight and balance. This is a critical factor in flight safety, performance, and efficiency. So let's break it down in an easy to understand way. The basics of aircraft weight. First, what limits an aircraft's structural weight? The key force that balances an aircraft's weight is a lift. If the lift generated by the wings isn't enough to match the aircraft's weight, it won't stay airborne. This means that an aircraft's weight is directly limited by how much lift it can produce. Now, lift itself depends on a few factors: the size and design of the wings, the airspeed, which is restricted by the power available from the engines, the air density, which changes based on altitude and weather conditions. The effects of excessive weight. What happens if an aircraft exceeds its weight limit? Well, a few things. Reduced performance. Takeoff and landing distance increase, climb rate decrease, and the aircraft has a shorter range. Higher stalling speed. The aircraft stalls at a faster speed than usual. Lower maneuverability. The heavier the plane, the harder it is to control. Increased wear and tear, tires, brakes, and other structural components wear out faster. Reduced safety margins. The extra stress can compromise structural integrity. Understanding center of gravity, CG. The center of gravity, CG, is the point where the aircraft's total weight is concentrated. If you think of the aircraft as a seesaw, the CG is the balancing point. The component arm is the distance from a fixed reference point, called the datum, to where the weight of component acts. A component placed further from the datum creates a stronger force, or moment, just like when you push on the door far from the hinges to make it swing more easily. Why is the CG range important? The CG range is the acceptable forward and aft positions of CG along the aircraft's longitudinal axis. Keeping the CG within this range is crucial for stability and control. A forward CG ensures the aircraft isn't too nose-heavy. If it's too far forward, the aircraft becomes difficult to pitch up during takeoff and landing. An aft CG ensures the aircraft isn't too tail-heavy. If it's too far back, the plane may become unstable, making it harder to recover from stalls or turbulence. What happens if the CG is out of limits? If the CG is too far forward, the aircraft becomes more stable but harder to maneuverable. More downward force is needed from the tailplane, increasing drag and fuel consumption. Stalling speed increases and pitch control can be limited. If the CG is too far aft, the aircraft becomes less stable but more maneuverable, making it more sensitive to control inputs. It may be harder to recover from a stall. The aircraft may have a tendency to pitch up unexpectedly, which can be dangerous. Center of gravity and performance. If you are retrying to maximize range, should you load cargo in the front or back? The answer is aft cargo hold. Why? Because an aft CG allows for more efficient flight profile, less tailplane drag, better lift distribution, and optimal fuel usage. However, some aircraft, especially those with a nose-down cruising altitude, may perform better with a forward CG. How weight affects a descent. A heavier aircraft has more momentum, meaning it requires an earlier descent point. With greater mass and velocity, a heavier aircraft maintains speed longer and needs more distance to slow down. Positive and negative G-forces. Finally, let's talk about the G-forces. Positive G-force is what we feel as normal gravity on Earth. It's what keeps us planted in our seats. Negative G-force is opposite, when the force of gravity is acting in the opposite direction, like during an abrupt downward maneuver. Final thoughts. Understanding weight and balance is crucial for safe and efficient flight operations. Whether you are a pilot, aviation enthusiast, or just someone fascinated by how planes work, Knowing these principles can give you a whole new appreciation for flight. That is for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, stay safe and keep flying high.